Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, March the 29th. It's the end of the trading week, the end of the trading month, the end of the trading quarter, and we've got a range expansion outside of 28.27, which could push us to 36, 42, 51, and potentially 58, though I doubt it. Now, what do we look at in general to tell us what's going on? Well, I like to see the push behind momentum. What's actually causing this catalyst of motion? You know what? You can pick up any kind of reading anywhere to tell you why this is punching forward. My suspicion is that this is a natural progression through the noise. And so, because we have generally bullish action on our 4-hour formations and the like, our pullbacks are going to give us buy zones and we are likely to expand. I know a lot of traders that fail to engage on these trading days by design. Okay, they stay away from the end of the trading quarter. They stay away from the end of the trading month because they know people are going to be jockeying back and forth so that portfolios hold a certain number of things. Overall, volume is dipping just a bit. So my suggestion is to say very simply, what's the trend? If my trend is upside, I'm going to say my pullbacks are buy zones. Yesterday, those pullbacks were pretty deep. Today, we're breaking out of the range, a lot more momentum, so the pullbacks may be a bit more shallow. Nevertheless, pullbacks are still a place to engage if you're bullish. If you are bearish, I would say probably you want to watch these edges expand first. They could catch you off guard today. Just saying. This doing the same thing, though not as aggressively. Take a look. Sideways action here. You can tell something is going on in this particular motion. These guys are normally running the show. And let's flip back quickly here. You can see this pop up and then heavy congestion and then a break out of the area. It's fairly similar, only we haven't broken out of that area. We're still just on the cusp of it. That is a breach of motion. It's under a negative drift here, but that just says I'm looking for support, and that could have already been identified, which means that we have a little bit of an elevator shaft that could push this chart all the way back up here into the 47, 48 area, 74, 47, 74, 48. What's the trend? Up to flat. Pullbacks or buy zones? Could they be shallow pullbacks today with aggressive motion? Potentially. Potentially. Probably not going to see a ton of volume move ahead with that. All right, taking a look at the YM, this one's got a really nice pop, and it looks, of course, different to the others, most different to the others, and that is these lower highs, these higher lows. We've got this price compression. We've got a flat adaptive moving average. You know, this is something we don't even need to look at right now. And so what this tells me is I've got range expansion. That range expansion could be a little bit outsized, but at the end of the day, I don't have the juice, as it were, to move forward in this environment and hold. So the moral of that story is usually don't buy the breakouts. Wait for the pullbacks. Some folks say, hey, I don't like to wait for the pullback. I don't know if it's going to hold. Well, we don't know if the breakout's going to hold either, but in an environment like this with a sideways formation, probabilistically, what we see is sell where people are selling, buy where people are buying. And that's really as simple as it gets. Oil, very interestingly. Take a look at this at the top of the range. Not sure why my chart is taking so long to load, but it's sitting at the top of the range, breaking out into this formation. We're really expanded above the moving averages that we normally watch, and that in itself tells us, hang on, we could have a big pop to the upside. Now, what have people been doing? So yesterday, the noise came in. It said, hey, OPEC said, hey, you know what? We are definitely not curbing as hard as we thought we would curb. And the president said, hey, listen, you need to ease up on that. And then, prices fade. People say, hey, it's because of that chatter. And that's not it at all. I mean, these traders, I am firmly convinced that the price of oil in these futures markets are run by the holders of the contracts and not the noise or even the news in the short term. And what these guys are doing are continuing to add on the pullbacks. That's what they're doing. Is it bullish? You betcha. It's very bullish. And so that's what you look at. Where is support holding? Yesterday we were looking at this area. It popped up over this area. I did not expect it to breach this zone, but it is, right? And so now we're looking at 54 or so. Over here on the daily, we can see that edge could go up to 56 77. And then we have a little bit of a vacuum that if it holds traction, it can go all the way to 61.70. Do not try to trade against this forward motion. It is the direction of trend. I've talked about it over and over again. Pullbacks or buy zones here. No ifs, ands, or buts. Nothing's going to break down right now because the holders are still essentially bullish because of all the curbs and all the sanctions, and they're waiting for these lifts. Old resistance, new support, take it away. They're going to what? Punch up into old support that was resistance, going to act like resistance at the first pass, pull back, and give us a new support zone. Where should this chart come back to give us a friendly entry long? Maybe 60. Not really sure if it'll do that, but I would say 60.05 would be ideal unless you're chasing it up right now in the pre-market and it runs right up into the 60.77 area. Okay, let's take a look at gold. Gold faded, beautiful sport zone. This early in the evening. Now, my thought was that it would bounce somewhere around 92 to 94. So that's a great entry point. I apologize for the frog that just jumped down into my throat. But now we are looking at resistance that may or may not hold. What is the overall slope of trend? It is bullish here. What is the near-term formation? It is sideways. What is the location of our SMI? It is neutral, and that tells me I have equal opportunities to bounce high and fade, or to come back and hold the low and try again. Optimally, I would love to see a retest of 97. Don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to run into this space, pop up just a little bit higher at the 1309 area, 1308, and then give us a little bit of a breath. See this edge right here? That's what we're going to get caught in right now. No aggressive environments to be sure, but we could see quite a bit of whips and expansions that are not natural or expected. End of the month, end of the week, end of the quarter, you're going to look for our sigma to expand. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good trading day.